Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Got a new Cardfight Vanguard video for you guys today, and as you guys can see, we are messing with Zorga and Nadir. So on this week's stream, as there weren't very many new releases, we decided to do something a little different, and we basically took a look at some of the Faded 1 decks that have kind of got left by the wayside, and with new cards released into the game that are a little more generic, we want to see if we can, upgrade the decks a little bit. So here we are with Zorga and Nadir. We're going to talk about some of the card choices and then, of course, jump into a game to show you guys how the deck plays. So if you guys enjoy this kind of content and want to see more of the Faded ones come back, let me know down in the comments, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and of course, drop a link on the video. Enough from me, let's talk about the deck. So, for Zorga and Nadir, I started off with the ride line. I kept Zorga's ride line exactly how it was because I actually think Zorga has a really, really strong ride line, especially for what we're going for with this deck. So, for anybody that doesn't remember what the ride line does, Abyss Fishing, when it's ruled upon by Split the Preordained, so bless one of the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 normal unit card, or up to 1 normal unit, not or. From among them, put the order into your hand and put the revealed unit into the drop. You put the normal order into hand and you discard the unit card and shuffle your deck. It gets you access to any of your orders. We have a bunch of orders we want to be able to use turn 2, but it also tries to get you mainly Rolling Prison Dragon. He's our main offense card, especially going turn 2. But we can also aim for cards like Abomination of Impending Karma, and Philander for later plays. And, deck thinning, deck winning. Split the Preordained. When this unit is ruled upon by a unit with Zorga in its card name and a divine skill, choose a normal unit from your drop, add it to hand. Basically, if you need to play one of these turn 2 or discard it for ride, you can then get it back so you have plays for turn 3. And then for anybody that hasn't forgot what Zorga and Nadir does, when you play a normal order, you may choose a normal order with a different name from your bind zone and alchemagic. I finally figured out why they allowed him to alchemagic cards in the bind zone. It's because you can only do it with a different order, whereas Zorga masks, you can actually do 2 of the same order. That actually came up in a game when I was testing this. Act Vanguard once per turn, Energy Blast 2, bind a normal order from your drop, choose up to 2 cards from your drop, call them to rear guard, and they get 5,000 power until the end of turn for each normal order with a different name in your bind zone. At the end of the turn, retire those units. Basically, it damn near spits out a board for you, and it helps you get higher numbers. And then, of course, Divine Skill, Auto Vanguard. When this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater unit, Soul Blast 1, choose a column and stand all of your rear guards in that column at the end of the turn, retire those units. So, our big guy is Roaming Prison Dragon. Roaming Prison Dragon we want into the drop as fast as possible. When you play a normal order, you may call this card to rear guard. If you called this card, perform one of the following. If it was Alchemagic, perform all instead of 1. So you can either give him 10k or +1 critical. If you have a strong enough booster, hey, turn 2, you can just give him a critical. But ideally, you want to play an order turn 2, call these guys out to help you get some early game offense, and then he becomes a big part of your offense in the late game, especially when you have a divine skill that can restand a column. And the numbers this deck can hit are crazy. We have our Persona rides. Now, Abomination of Impending Karma. I've seen a lot of people have different opinions on Abomination of Impending Karma. The way I see it is he's a little bit of a better, well, for pushes, he's better than Roaming Prison Dragon. Over time, he's worse because Roaming Prison Dragon is free and you just can abuse it every single turn, whereas Impending Karma takes a lot of resource. So Abomination of Impending Karma, I'm gonna read his second effect first because of how he actually plays. Auto drop at the beginning of your battle phase. If you have a Vanguard with Zorga and its card name and a Divine Steel and you did Alchemagic this turn, you may call this card to rear guard. If you call this card and your opponent is at your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, this unit gets 1 critical. Usually you wouldn't go into this unless your opponent's at grade 3. So it's just, did you Alchemagic? Cool. Beginning of battle phase, special summon itself. Call itself out, spirit call itself out. But second skill is where I end up liking this card. When this unit is placed on rear guard, Energy Blast 4, bind a normal order from your drop, and this unit gets 5,000 power until end of turn for each normal order with a different card name in your bind zone. The reason I like this is because this also speeds up Zorga. Now I know they balance it out by having it all happen during the battle phase, but if you call this out with Zorga, you can use that first skill. You don't need to call it out with its own effect. If you don't call this out, it'll call itself out and then bind one, which sets you up for the following turns. So at a minimum, ideally, this is going to be gaining 10k power, maybe even more as the turns go on, which is why I still like it in the deck because it does end up hitting better numbers than Roaming Prison Dragon. We have our Ace unit. This thing is just just generically good. When this unit is placed on rearguard, other than during the battle phase, this unit gets 5,000 power until end of turn. Energy Blast 3, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card from among them, discard it, and shuffle your deck. Choose up to 1 card with grade less than equal to your Vanguard from your drop, and you may call it. It's a great early game card, it's a great late game card. And it gets us pieces we want in the drop. And then second effect, auto rearguard. When this unit attacks, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater until end of that battle, this unit gets 5,000 power, and if you drop it 10 more cards, another 5,000 power. Which kind of plays into the deck. Like, it's not a super mill deck, but it does mill out quite a bit. We have our perfect guards. Now, Philander. As you guys can see, I am not playing Shadow Cloak. To be honest, I do not like that card. My thing with most card games is I'm all about consistency and being able to get, to quote old Vanguard, the winning image that you want. In the case of this, we want to get our combo pieces into the drop without hindering us in the late game. Shadow Cloak has to be called from hand, so you have to draw into it because there are no ways to search Shadow Cloak. It dumps an order, but if you have another copy of the order, you get to add it to hand instead, which is cool, but you want to be able to get different named orders into the drop. So if you're doing it for that, you're literally playing it just to mill the order. And then it's the only thing I like about it is its second skill, because somebody told me a really nice defensive play that they were able to do where they use Zorga to call back perfect guards or their overtrigger or other triggers to then use Shadow Cloak's second ability, which is when you Alchemagic, you can bounce a rear guard back to hand to keep on recycling defensive powers, which is cool. In order to do that every turn, you would have to waste your calls on Shadow Cloak and whatever defensive unit you want to bounce, which ends up reducing your own combat power. This deck needs to hit hard in order to put your opponent to sleep, and if you're going forced into a grind game like that, it's only a matter of time. Philander helps us in a similar way while not becoming a detriment in the late game. Shadow Cloak, after once you hit turn 3, you never want to play Shadow Cloak because you want to be able to abuse Roaming Prison Dragon. But Philander here, when this unit is placed on rearguard from hand, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card from among them, discard it, and shuffle a deck. It doesn't just aim for the orders, but it can get anything, any card out of the top 5. So Roaming Prison Dragon, Abomination, another copy of itself, doesn't matter. And then once you have 10 cards in drop, it gains 10k on boost or attack. So it's an 18k as opposed to a vanilla in the late game. And here's the newest card, Harvest Elf. This one just got announced and chat was going crazy for this one. So when this unit is placed on rearguard from the hand, other than during the battle phase, Soul Blast 1 and call a plant token. That's already solid because we don't use our soul for anything except for Zorga's divine skill. And this gives Zorga an even better early game because you can either call out a booster as a plant token or you can make a 10k column with this and just be able to punch your opponent super early. So it's really kind of nice. Second effect, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, this unit gets 10k power, active on your opponent's turn, so it becomes a 10k booster. Solid. Even bigger if you call this back with Zorga. Last effect. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted, retire 2 rear guards in the same column as this unit, and draw a card. A lot of Zorga's units already retire themselves, so end of turn you use this, retire this, and a Roaming Prison Dragon, and you get to draw a card. So we have a draw engine that we can use every single turn. That is insane for Zorga. Insane, especially since a lot of Zorga's hand advantage is fake because of the orders. Now the order lineup is a little bit weird because we wanted to vary it up to have a lot of different names. That was a problem I always had with my builds with Zorga, where I just didn't have enough names to really maximize on Zorga's power. So we changed it up a little bit. Some of these orders I don't like, a lot of them I do, and you can kind of tell by the dimensions what I like and what I don't. So we're playing 1 Death Inviting Black Magic. The later the game goes, the better this is, because you can just start drawing 2 cards every turn for free. Clouded Miasma. This one I'm not the biggest fan of because we already build the board from the drop, but worst case scenario, we get a booster for our Vanguard and now our whole form gains 5k. It's okay. I was going to do 3 copies of Brand of Corpses, but I wanted to, again, vary up the names. So just Brand of Corpses gives a skill to the Vanguard. You can only play it with a Zorga with a divine skill. All of your rear guards placed from the drop get 5k. Obviously, we're going to play at least 4 every turn, so that gets massive. Radiance Caliburn, because even if this is bound, it is a normal order. We do get to use it to draw extra cards or to countercharge. The only downside is we can only use it once per fight. It is what it is. Now we have our lower grade orders. These we want to usually see at least one going into turn 2. We have Command of Death's Restraint. Discard the top card of your deck. Choose a card with grade less than or equal to your Vanguard from your drop. Call it to rear guard if it is a unit card, and put it into your hand if it's a normal order. This thing is just good, especially in the early game, because we dump a roaming prison dragon. We call something else with this. Then we can call the roaming prison dragon, and now we have, you know, a front row. This one's probably the weakest, but if you actually look at the builds, we don't counterblast for anything. So the orders that require counterblasts are a lot more free to use than I thought. You play this with the counterblast one, you just draw a card, you look at the top card of your deck, you put it on top of the deck, or you discard it. So you either stack a trigger on turn 2, or you mill a card. And then of course, Meteoric Habitat. Meteoric Habitat is just one of the best cards to get into combo pieces. You play it, look at top 7, call the dude. That's grade less than equal to your Vanguard. The other skills we don't really use that much. When you would search or choose a unit card from your deck, you may choose this card as the unit card, and then when this card would be called from the deck, you can put it into hand instead of putting it into the drop. Basically, if you have a card that's superior, if you have a card that's superior calls from the deck, you can call this and it'll add itself to hand. And then of course, Elementary Sanctitude, grade 3 deck. You guys know my whole thing with that. Trigger lineup, we kind of kept it standard. Obviously, Stoicheia OT, it's super powerful. Draw triggers, though, if you're able to abuse the grade 1 enough, you could arguably put fronts. Just, that's again, I still want to keep the draw triggers for now until I get a feel for how much draw power we have. Just because, again, fake advantage sometimes because of all the orders. We have our crits, we have our heals, gotta rock the Masanori heal. This is the deck. I know it seems like I haven't changed up too much, but I'm telling you, these new cards, these new dimensions make a nice, stable change. So let's take it and let's go jump into a game. Unfortunately, we gotta go second, but I'm actually gonna send Abomination back because we don't want to see that till late game. I want to draw some of my early game cards, which we just did. Ooh, we're up against Sybilt. Interesting. The only thing I'm missing to have this hand be really good is one of my turn 2 orders. Alright. Let's grab him his order. That is fine. Alright, we're gonna drop Roaming Prison Dragon. Ride grade 1. Draw. Now we could play the order, the grade 1 we were talking about. Soul Blast 1. Get a plant token. Battle phase. Swing in. Swing in. Branded of Corpses. Now, another thing I like about this deck is since we don't need any counterblast, we can afford to be more defensive. We only have one order in the deck that requires a counterblast. Other than that, we don't really give a shit. Oh. I actually forgot about this. This thing killed itself to draw a card. That matters. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted. Yeah. That was my bad. I forgot that it does that because you can use that in the early game too. And it wouldn't have changed any of the drive checks. I would have swung with that, retired it. I would have drawn Branded Corpse. I would have drove check into Zorga. Now I'm going to take 1 damage just because I would have probably swung Vanguard first. Anyway, I'm going to take that one. Draw trigger is nice. Now, I know we don't have our turn 2 orders, but that's fine because we're going to end up searching with Abyss Fishing. I'm going to no guard this for 1 to pass. Sweet. Alright, we're definitely going to drop... We're going to drop Clouded Miasma. Oh, Clouded Miasma costs a Counterblast as well. Alright, so now we're going to check top 7. Beautiful. Add this to hand, and we're going to dump Abomination of Impending Karma. Drop. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. And we now have a full board. So peep game. Look at the discard the top card of the deck. And then we're going to... We can't get the plant token, but we definitely can get the draw. And then reveal, call, And now this gets power plus 10. So battle phase. Dope. Didn't shuffle. Swing in. That's fine. And then swing in. And then skill. Pop off again. Draw. And as you see, we already have a massive hand now. I don't like that we have 3 copies of Zorga in hand and no perfect card, but it's okay. We'll likely discard Death Inviting Black Magic for ride cost. And then we're probably going to combine Clouded Miasma with Branded Oak Corpses and just get a bunch of extra power turn 2. Turn 3. Ooh, he doesn't have much of a board either. That's good for us. We're definitely gonna just discard this. Just double checking. Yeah, we only need 1 counter less. Ooh. We probably won't Divine Skill next turn just because we're kind of hurting on offense. That was a mistake. He does get a drive check now. I guess he gave it to Vanguard because he's restanding. Ideally, he should swing at the rear guard here. Never mind. Oh, I wanted a damage trigger so bad. Huh, this doesn't have to be played from hand. Wool guard. And then he gets to draw a card. And then that would... No, because that's the order bounces it back, right? Alright, so now we're going to get rid of Death Inviting Black Magic. And then we get to add a normal order from our drop to our hand. What's a good one to add? I guess we'll add Command of Death Restraint. We have Mad Energy. Alright, what do we have in our drop? 2 of the grade 1s. We can get a bunch of draws. Oh, I like that. Alright, so we're going to go Skill, Energy Blast 2. We're going to bind Clouded Miasma. We're going to call these guys. And sometimes points at grade 3, they gain 5k power. And then because of the order, they gain another 5k power. Not because of the order, but because of Zorga's skill. Next up, we're going to play Branded Oak Corpses. And then we're going to Alchemagic with Clouded Miasma. So kind of less 1 for Clouded Miasma, which lets us call 1. Okay. And then, so our front row, I mean, all of our units call from the drop gain 5k. So these are going to gain 5k. And then we get to call somebody from the drop. It don't really matter. But then Zorga, actually, yeah, Zorga's skill, not Zorga's skill, but Roaming Prison Dragon's skill is going to call. He's going to gain power plus 10 from himself, plus 1 crit, and then from the 2 orders, he gains another 10k. And then we go to battle phase. Abomination of Impending Karma, call. Abomination gets a crit, plus 10k, 5k from corpses, 5k from Cloud Miasma, then skill, Energy Blast 4. We're going to bind this, and he gets another 10k. So I was missing 5k and then another 10k. Bang. Alright. That was dope. Actually, Zorga gets 5k too from Cloud Miasma. So now the question is, do we want to swing with the rear guard first? I guess we'll see how much damage we can get out. So let's go 45 for 2. Fuck it, I'm gonna go for it. Swing, skill. I know it's a little early for my divine skill, but these columns are already massive. And we're gonna draw a bunch of cards too. Twin drive, first check, draw trigger. We're gonna put that here. Second check, another draw trigger. Jesus Christ. All right, then we're gonna go 50. And now he has to block both attacks. And a 50 and a 65 is crazy. All right, skill, pop off, draw, swing. And this is cool because this column is going to retire anyway because of Zorga's effect. Double PG. All right, skill, pop off, draw. I have never felt so safe with Zorga in my life. Never. Over the entire time I've played this deck. And that was turn 3. And then next turn we're gonna go in with 6 energy so we can do it again. Even though we don't have another roaming prison dragon. Because all we need to do that combo is 1 counterblast, which we have. We have another branded or corpses in hand, so we can literally do that same exact turn again. The only downside is we still didn't draw any perfect cards. It would have been nice, but it's okay. All right, and he used up 2 perfect guards. Unfortunately, he didn't draw into any. I mean, he didn't damage any, so he has a chance to see the other ones. All right, let's do this. 25, 30. All right, so we'll go guard and guard. And now we're definitely gonna have 8 cards, 10 cards in drop. So Philander will be live. So we can choose to give up some of the draw power for extra power. We'll no guard the Vanguard. Even though we could guard it. You love to see it. Yep, now he's gonna restand both. Gets a drive check. Discarding a third, his other PG is crazy. No guard. Damage trigger is beautiful. I honestly think I'm gonna go discard the other copy of Philander. Oh wait, no, they're 30s, never mind. Card. I cut it out, but there was a miscommunication. He basically was giving his rear guard an extra 5k power. All right, let's try to put this guy to sleep. Alrighty, let's go main phase. Start off with skill. Energy blast 2. We're gonna call you and you. Now you both are going to gain 5k. You gain 5k because of that. We have 10 cards in drop. So Well, I don't know if if we're going to maintain. I mean, no, we should be fine. All right. Then we're going to go. We're going to play Branded Old Corpses. And we're going to Alchemagic with Cloud of Miasma again. So Counterblast, Cloud of Miasma calls a dude. So let's call. I guess it really don't matter. Whoa. What just happened? Way to go. Oh, I bound it. We're gonna call this. This is good because this is gonna be a 15k booster. And then now you gain 5k. You gain 5k. Reveal. Call. You gain 10k off your own skill, 5k from Branded Corpses, and 5k from Miasma. And that's all we have to do. Battle phase. Call. Crit. And then Energy Blast 4. Find another order. Unfortunately, we only have 3 with different names now. All right. Oh no, we have plenty. All right, so that's plus 15, and then plus 10k from the 2 orders. And then our Vanguard has plus 5. And now we're gonna go 43 to Vanguard. And he basically has to take it because otherwise he's gonna have no counterblast. So Twin Drive, first check, second check. Shit. I probably could have placed a little bit different to get the fact that he got a heal triggers annoying. But we could have probably played a little bit different to get more cards and draw for this column to be a little bit bigger. But please come drop this card. That's going to be 33, 48, 53. Damn, that's a lot of guard. Which means he probably has the perfect guard for the last one. All right, and then 65. Nope, he has the OT, which is fine. Now we drop these and we draw another card. Where are my perfect cards? I haven't seen a single perfect card the whole game. That is wild. Oh, this retires, I forgot. It sucks because, like, that literally was crit to win because he had to take the damage, otherwise Sybil wouldn't be able to play on his turn. Maybe I should have just swung with the rear guards. Well, he didn't. He don't think he didn't have a front row for me to swing at. $33. What is this guy doing? All right, so now he's doing mental pollution. That was weird. He's doing 38, 43. All right, we're gonna eat this. There's our perfect guard. You love to see it. All right, now he's going 23 to Vanguard. So we're gonna go. That's gonna be 28. Let's guard like that. 2 to pass. Oh shit. Damn. Yeah, but come on, we're not gonna get. GG. That was just luck of the draw. Let's do some math here. So if he had only gotten the 1 trigger, gave it to Vanguard, that would have been the Vanguard would have reached it at 33 and swung. How do you get his PGs back? How do you get his PGs back? He used 2 of them on our turn 3, and then he discarded one. He must have swapped around what card he discarded. Whatever. That's gonna bother me, but whatever. Because he definitely dumped a perfect guard for the cost to get his drive check on his Vanguard last turn. So, anyway, I guess he was just showing me that he still had the PGs for the rear guards. But he would have restood at 33. We could have guarded with another 2 triggers. We had the OT for 1, and then we would have had this is 25, which we could have just used our 5Ks to guard. Huh. But again, that was luck of the draw. Not only did he get a double trigger there, it was also because we drew no perfect guards, and we're sitting on 5 shieldless cards. All right, guys. Here's one more look at the deck. My bad. I actually gotta go. I hate ending on a loss because I definitely want to jump in and play another game. I think it feels smooth. I think the addition of the grade 1 fixes a lot of the problems the deck already had. And you saw I had a massive hand. Do I think we could switch to front triggers instead of draws? Possibly. I think I'd have to test it out and see how well it works together. But I hope you guys could see the vision of what I was going for and the power level of the deck. I felt pretty safe majority of the game. Really. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you guys want to check me out on social media, those links will be down below. If you guys want to see me play some Cardfight Vanguard live, come by the live stream. Next live stream will be Wednesday for Cardfight Vanguard. Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I think we're getting the I don't know if it's Thursday or Tuesday, we're getting the Buddy Fight decks revealed. So if we can get access to it on Wednesday, we'll definitely try it out. All right, guys, that's going to be it from me. Catch you on the next video. Later.
In my eyes, I was born for this. I got demons on my side, you ain't high like this. I got reason to believe, I don't need it from my gifts. Only I can change the world and it go like this.